Today, let's talk about the book, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. Several people have asked me about this recently, plus it serves as a good foil for proper therapy and why it matters. So this book came out in 2014, argues that trauma is not just a psychological phenomenon, but a physical one. It becomes embedded in the body, in the nervous system, which can disrupt your basic sense of safety, and it all happens outside your conscious awareness. So van der Kolk de-emphasizes talk therapy and emphasizes somatic therapy, yoga, breath work, EMDR. He calls it a bottom-up treatment. I mean, you've probably seen a TikTok video about it, some guy hyperventilating in a spread eagle position in an attempt to release trauma from his hips. The point is that trauma is nonverbal. You can't talk your way through it. Words are cognitive. Trauma's in the body. The implication is that words alone cannot reach the level at which trauma operates. But I'll make the case here that this is not how it works. Not only can words reach the body, whatever that means, but the psychological issue, that which you do need words to address and change, when that's left unresolved, it in fact causes the physiological issue. Because van der Kolk, I would argue, he doesn't understand talk therapy. So he ends up giving primacy to the physiological, but the somatic therapy really, when it's done right, even when it's done right, still needs the talk therapy to function properly. So there's already been a lot of criticism about this book, mostly about the studies. We'll go a step further here, but just as a jumping off point, I mean, one problem with the studies in this book is a lot of them are based on brain scans, which are really good at telling you that there is a difference between two brains, but it does not tell you how the difference got there. Plus, I mean, brain scans are the modern day Rorschach test, or the link between childhood trauma and later physical effects. I mean, you just cannot tease apart correlation and causation there, even though he acts like, he can. And then there's the trauma cortisol connection, or the PTSD cortisol connection, which has not been able to be replicated since the 80s. And yet van der Kolk talks about EMDR, or he recommends EMDR, but the research on that is spotty. And of course it is, EMDR is basically acupuncture with more talking. There's some mechanism at work there. We don't understand exactly what it is. I have a theory of what it is, but we don't really know. But what the research indicates here is something is getting in the way of the relationship between the traumatic event in the past and the somatic issue now. There's too much noise going on. There is some moderating variable, you could say. So for van der Kolk, it's just trauma, somatization, but really what's going on is it's trauma, some variable, and then the somatization. So what could that variable be? It's probably many things. I would argue one of them is your psyche, your consciousness, how you process the issue now. It's true that trauma can be physiological, but it doesn't matter how the trauma got there. What matters is how it's expressed now. What perpetuates the problem is how it's expressed now. Your nervous system does react to danger. That's true. It also reacts to what your psyche interprets as danger. The interpretation can be unconscious, which does not mean non-psychological. What I'm saying here is that, since when has a panic attack ever been proportional to the alleged threat that the panic attack is supposedly about, to the alleged threat that's right in front of you? So what van der Kolk calls stored trauma is actually a recurrent unconscious repression of healthy needs, not a biological imprint. It could be a perpetuation of that biological imprint, but it's only the perpetuation. It's not that your mom abused you. It's that the issue your mom gave you when she abused you now informs the relationship with your wife. The essence is in meaning, not physiology. And that there's a lot of confusion here because modern psychology always gets confused when it comes to consciousness, which of course is not van der Kolk's fault. He's a neuroscience guy. at least he's able to recognize that something is definitely wrong with modern talk therapy when it's not getting distracted by an overestimation of the conscious mind, ego inflation. It's just going to go around in circles. But he mistakes the failure of modern therapy as a failure of insight generally. So we can't see how insight, in fact, can affect your nervous system. Because what is insight? It's putting words to your emotional content to get clear on it so you can become more comfortable with it, so you can talk about it. So you can talk about it well and then begin to talk about it in your real life. That's what therapy is for that integration of that issue into your personality. To be able to talk how you talk in therapy. The same way that you talk in life. When the therapy ends and you're still saying stuff about your mom that you don't want her to ever hear, then the therapy has decidedly failed. But when you do take your unconscious issue and connect it with others, and I would argue there's a proper way of doing that, but when you do that, that will be your physiological response. The most powerful physiological responses you will ever have, or at least they're up there, will be having a conversation with someone who is important to you about something that's important to you. There's just going to be a lot of emotional content around that. And therapy is about getting you to do that 5% more, even 1% more. It doesn't matter. It snowballs. You can go slowly, but the last thing you do is stop. You never stop unless you do stop, in which case, just get started again as soon as you are able. And of course, what research is way more robust than the link between childhood trauma and somatic effects later on is the research that shows you that you really need friends. You need relationships, and you don't have friends, you don't have good relationships when you're split, when you're hiding. Now, Kolk's response here, his best response here would be to say that people need to feel safe before they can address their psychological issue. That you can't really talk about what happened when you're too unstable to even, organize the experience of what happened into language. And to that, I say, okay, great. Do what you need to do. Just manage the psyche too. Otherwise, you're going to end up going on 45 yoga retreats. I mean, that's a joke, but I'm sure there's people who've been on 45 yoga retreats. If they're just on the verge of managing their issue, almost there, one more juice cleanse. So I would never begrudge anybody for doing somatic work. Only understand what it is you're doing. And so what you're not doing. Otherwise, you're just going to end up smelling like patchouli, right? So once you understand it from this perspective, somatic therapy, it's clear that it only deals with the symptom. You're reducing the fever. You can calm your nervous system, but the maladaptive relationship with the emotional issue that causes the stress in the nervous system will just end up causing more stress. So the body does not keep the score. Who keeps the score? You keep the score. I have this great story of my old roommate, Ches, who would claim to never get rejected by a woman. But then you go out with him and it's clear he gets rejected all the time. He just doesn't see it, or it doesn't matter to him. His mind just filters for success. So there is one reality out there, but who exactly is keeping the score? And I know it may seem like I'm splitting hairs here, but this is surgery. Therapy is very much a precision game. It's a marathon too. And if your gait's a little bit off, you're not going to really notice it until mile 15. There's still a long ways to go. You're going to be in a lot of pain. You're just going to think that you're the problem and you'll quit. I mean, you did go to 45 yoga retreats. So, what else could you do? So, yeah, when your model for, when your psychological model is even slightly off, you can spend years managing the symptom without ever working on the engine that's generating the symptom. So, to learn more about your engine and how it works, and check out my new book, The Therapy Manifesto. Link is in the description. If you want to work on your engine with me, I do free consultations. Join animus.com/schedule. If you've already worked with me, then do not stop, and no matter what, come to the group. I did a similar video critiquing IFS therapy. I'll post it for you there to click on. And remember, you are not the cause of your trauma, but you are the one who perpetuates it.